What's going on YouTube? It's Ali Dope and I'm checking in once again with another dope video. Yes sir. So don't you want to make something dope like that? Well, today I'm going to show you how. Okay guys, so after you make all your adjustments and all your effects and add all your special effects to each individual composition, each one of these, what we're gonna do now is gonna turn on everything. I know I probably did it at the beginning, but I sat back, I kind of reevaluated how I wanted it to flow, and I found an easier way instead of going from right to left because I was having problems with the orientation. We're gonna go from top. So you're gonna have your main active camera here on the right. You're gonna have the two views. You gotta click here, go to two views. And then for this camera right here, we're just gonna go from the top. So we have the top here. We'll have the camera starting right here at the point of interest, which is gonna be this first camera. So we're gonna work from the background all the way to the front. As you can see, when you lay it down, it's gonna be all layered on top of each other. So now we have to move from the back to the front so it has a point of reference to flow through. So we're gonna start with the back here, right here, right. And you're not gonna see it on the active camera. You're only gonna see it right here on the right camera right now for the time being. And then what you're gonna do is just push the Z and you're just gonna move it back. That's all. You're just moving it back. And the back is cool because it's the main background that you want to see that's going to be taking up most of this. So if it was all 3D objects or something like that, then it would be easier. But since it's planes that we're working with, which is kind of hard. So you just want to fill this square in till you see this square here. I might be really faint, but it's a purple line right there. Make sure it just takes up all of that space. Pretty big. It's the background, so it's black. It doesn't really matter. So this the last clip, we're gonna push that to the back as well. Pretty much where the background is, because you're not really trying to see that too much, so it doesn't really matter. Put that, as you can see, it's really, really small, and we're gonna go ahead and scale that up so it fits inside of the actual item. And if you really wanted to see it, it's nothing gonna be right there right now because the actual clip doesn't even start until back here. So that's how you'll know. Whatever, it doesn't even start till back here. So yeah, as long as it's there though, this square. So you turn on the next one, go to where it pretty much starts at, go ahead and same thing. We're just gonna scale this one up as well. After we push it back in the Z plane, you're pushing it back, but you want enough space for each item to kind of flow through. So I might end up backing it up even more. You just got to keep adjusting it to where it goes. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lock in all my spacing between, and then we'll move to the camera path. But that's all you're doing is playing around with the settings till you get a nice little space in between. So when you fly through it, it's going to this next one, but it has to have enough space in between for each one to be able to do its thing. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to scale this one up too. Boom. And I always make it a little bit bigger. So then I can always pull the scale back and move it around a little bit. Pretty much what I did is I went ahead and scaled all my stuff pretty much. I scaled everything, so everything pretty much is fitting for what you needed to fit for. Pretty much. Alright, so everything's kind of moving, doing its thing, and as you can see, as each layer goes, it's disappearing up there on the left side of the screen. But everything is being shown as a scale. Now, the scale might change based on the camera. Now, once again, I use the camera for 50, but in my case, telling you guys, I probably do 35. 55 is a little bit too close, but I was trying to keep it for like portrait style or whatever. So pretty much what we're gonna do now is gonna start just flying through things. We want to fly through this main clip right here into the window so we can see what's going on back there. And obviously we're gonna have to change the scale on this a little bit depending on. So right now we're just creating the directional path for the actual camera itself. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with the camera path and you're just gonna go ahead and create keyframes for all these at the beginning. So a key to this, moving the camera and the camera motion, is when you're sliding to this next slide. So this is the first one that we already on. This next one, might have to move the position a little bit. We're just gonna turn off everything else right now because I might have to adjust some of these things. But yeah, so 2 is here, 1 is here. The camera's here. As the camera is going through camera 1, is the point of interest on it. So when you're clicking this and you click on the Z axis and you push it through. So say I push it through, but I wanted to go through this. The camera right there is gonna fly through this camera and go after the camera's right here. As you can see, the camera's right there. When it finally flies through, and then this is the point of interest right here. So this is where you want your second one to be at. Wherever the point of interest on the camera is. So the point of interest is right there. Kind of make a mark in your head or on here. Put a finger and just try to push it back to there. So where you can actually see it. Probably to the end. Right here. Of the point of interest on the camera is right there. Take that. Now you can fix the scale and adjust it to what you needed to adjust it for. Bam. So 1 to 2, that's a lot of space in between. And that's because right now it's a 50 millimeter. But if it was a 35 or something like that, the distance between the camera to get that perspective wouldn't be as bad. So like I said, you make those keyframes right here. Then you make the set of keyframes that you're gonna want to open it up into. So right here, if it's pushing through, pushing through, pushing through, pushing through, when does the window go down? Because if it's by the time it's here, it goes through to this one here. So now we have this blank canvas. We started moving some of the things like I said before. We want to change it to the point of interest. So the point of interest right now on this camera is right here. As you can see, you click on this. On the camera, the point of interest is already on our main layer, which is this one right here. We're going to go ahead and just create a bunch of keyframes just so we have a nice, good starting point, right? So we want to fly through this and then land right here. Land right there. So how do we get there? The window starts to go down and it's open. By this time, we should already be on to the next clip, like right around here, right? So how do we get there? We got to go ahead and use this and use this. So you can press C to toggle through all the settings of where do you need it to be and move in the position, stuff like that. So for this one, we really wanted to be zoomed in. And I'm using the toggle tool, the zoom in dolly tool. Boom. Moving this in here. Using the C to move it down over a little bit. Then I'm zooming back in. Boom. Use the C, move it over a little bit because we want that to be out the way. Push it. Now it's right here. That's where we at with it. Then the second one underneath this one. Then this is where you adjust the settings where you need this to be. Use the V marker. You can use the V to adjust the actual plane that's underneath it. Move it around. So now as you can see, it's just moving this, not the camera. So we're moving this to where it needs to be. Move it right there. And we probably move it up a little bit. Y. Boom. And then we probably got to scale it up. Scale it up. Boom. And then you just check it out. See what you like. See what you think. Alright. Looking good though. It's zooming in. It's zooming in. Yeah. The window comes down. And right there, as the window comes down, the actual thing should be started like right here. So we're gonna have to move this thing back a little bit to where it actually starts. Right here. And we might have to adjust the actual pre-composed clip. So if the pre-composed clip actually doesn't start to right here where it actually starts, we need to go in here and click inside of here and make sure this bad boy starts a little bit earlier so we have some stuff to look at. Just extend it. It doesn't have to have any motion or anything. Just make sure you extend whatever needs to be extended. So then when you see it underneath here, it's there. So if you want it, this is how far it needs to be. Far. This far. Boom. So now you have it. Make that scale just a little bit bigger. Boom. So now when you open the window opens. Oh, it's still not there. Now it's there. So now right here, I guess this is where it needs to be. Boom. Move these two pieces, all like I said, all the way up here. Boom. The window comes down. We're going to scale this up a little bit again. And it's all adjustments, you guys. So boom. Open that up. Through the window. Coming through. Boom. By the time I get here, now you can click that keyframe to scale. Keep it how it was. But then for this clip, you want the scale to come back down to where it was at. So this is going to be like right around. This scale is going to adjust itself. Boom. And remember, the camera's still right now. The camera hasn't moved. So remember that. Because you want the camera to stay for this to be able to see the full plane without any extra movement. So we're going to move this through. Boom. Watch as this goes through. And as this is going, I know this zooms out. And I want to start zooming into where I needed to zoom into. But before that happens, a couple of keyframes before that, I'm gonna set these again. So from here to here, nothing moves. Nothing moves. Right as this opens, we're gonna start moving into the image again. So we got to turn on this layer that's underneath. So then we can see what we're doing. And then we're going to go ahead and start moving it. Boom. As it opens. Boom. As this clears out, we want this new one to go. So we got to fly through this clip right here. Boom. And I got to figure out what the third one is. So then you can see where you're trying to fly out to. Cool beans. Make sure you adjust where you need to adjust it to. Boom. I need to back mine up because the second clip is right there. First clip is up here somewhere. So the third clip needs to be back here. Second clip is right here. So I need to back it up even more. And wherever this green marker is where the actual plane is at. So if you need to adjust, then adjust. And I like to show you guys all my work throughs for it sometimes when I'm doing the tutorial, so you can see some of the hiccups I come across, so then you guys can watch and know and keep in mind for some of the hiccups that you might come across when you're editing yours, instead of like, oh dang, it's not working for me, it's not working for me. Like, it took me a while to do this tutorial. I'm telling you, it took me a few times to kind of get back into the camera motion, because when you're moving the 3D camera, especially with all these other elements, sometimes and then timing is just a lot. So as we pushing through this, boom, I want to see where this one is at. So to see where this one is at, I just go to the end here because it usually disappears. So now I can kind of see, okay, cool. It's right there is the end of it. So this is the beginning. So this needs to be backed up a little bit. So I can fly through. And then you might have to adjust the scale. But you don't know that until you fly through. So when this ends, boom, we want to go ahead and push the camera, click on the camera, and we're going to push the camera, the Z axis, through that one. Okay, boom. So as long as it's through this one, I want it all the way pushed. So I might push the camera all the way there, all the way through this one, right? So because this is the second clip right here, this third clip, I'm gonna push this one even further back because I want it to be as the camera moves, I want this distance between each of the planes of each plane. I want it this much distance, like where the point of interest is and where the camera's at. That's how much space I want in between. So if you have to scale it down or something like that, just fix it. Obviously, just do what needs to be done so you can adjust where you need your items to be. So as this one is coming through the screen, as it starts to open up, you can go ahead and like unsee that for a second and go back to the scale. Make sure the scale is where you need it to be. Boom. Because look, it's gonna fly through. Turn this one back on so you can see. Scale breaks, opens, it goes where it needs to go. This one comes flying through. And as I need the scale, keyframe, you know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do to make sure the scale is parallel with the camera, and that's the most important part of it. So this is the scale I needed when it broke through. Is cool right there. Create a keyframe right here. Cool. When it gets to here, I needed to do something else, so I'll move the keyframe over a little bit, and then I'll downsize it a little bit because obviously I want the whole scene to show. So boom, and then at the end you'll easy ease all your keyframes and everything like that. But yeah, so boom, open it up like that. This one flies through, the scale comes back down, and the camera's still moving, as you can see right here on this screen. Watch the camera as it's pushing. We want to be scaling this down a little bit because now it's at the plane where you can see it. We want to scale that down a little bit more because now it's up on there and we don't need all that extra stuff. So boom, and I want a little bit of motion in this camera, so I'm gonna get a little freaky with this one. Go in, they got the cameras flying, it's still zooming in as that thing comes in. Boom, scale right here is easy. So as this one flies, I do want to kind of move the camera, zoom in really quickly into this item, like to this guy here. Move in real quick on him, and then zoom back out, and then push it right back there. Pull it right back there. And then when I actually add the motion and then add the easy ease, everything will look so much smoother. But I just want to get all the movements down first. So as this one pops, like I said, I'm adjusting the scales. the scale is being adjusted, things are going on, things are happening. Boom, I actually hit that one, it hits it, it zooms into this one real fast, this guy, as he flew in. Now it's gonna zoom back out, this guy is leaving, zooming up where a new scene just came in. And as you can see right here, we having some problems with the adjustment, so that's just moving this up right here so it works. If you need to zoom in a little bit extra, there we go, boom, that one opens up. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool right there. Boom, then we got this next one coming up, and as this one's flying through, we're gonna turn this one on. Here we go. It's behind the camera, it's back here. This 4 is back here. So remember, we gotta move this up now. So we gotta move this back here towards the actual screen. Turn it where it turns on at. Boom, right here. We might wanna move it up a little bit if I can. Move it up like few keyframes just to see, make sure everything's good when we doing our transition. Boom, turn that back off. Boom. All right, so we're gonna fly through that as it's doing this thing, and we're just gonna move that back, move this screen back probably towards behind this one, because this is, as you can see, it's being pushed. That line is the end of the plane before it, so you got to move it behind that. Boom. And by the time this one gets to there, we want to probably have it, I'm kind of eyeballing it right now, like right here. So as we're pushing through here, the end of this, go back to the camera, and what we're doing is just pushing through the screen. Boom, boom, boom. You could adjust it as you need, you know, to the middle. But other than that, we pushing through. So as it pushes through right here, we grab this one, move it back up, sitting it into this here. So now we got it. It's pretty good. Boom, boom. It does its thing. Go up. It zoomed in. There we go. I do want this to stay a little bit longer, this clip right here. So I'm going to copy these keyframes. And then I don't want it to zoom out to like right around here. So I'm going to just keep them to right there. So now it just stays where it's at. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Then it zooms into there. And now we have this. Now we just got to adjust the scale, because the scale is kind of OD right now. Move the scale and then move the item. It flies through here and it goes into this plain like clip, but I want a little bit of activity to go into that. So like I said, I went to Envato Elements and got me a 3D on alpha track, a 3D eagle. And as you can see, it's the eagle right there. It's just flying, flapping its wings. And I want it to kind of fly through here during this transition right here. So I'll probably put the eagle like right here. It comes in. And the eagle flies for a little second. So I probably wanted to do it like to right here. You create a position on it, press P.
Push P.
Move the position off to the side here. I'm probably gonna put it off to the back. I'm gonna fly it a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Right around here. I'm gonna try to move the eagle this way. Move the eagle across the screen. Down. Thing, and then go till it goes off the screen. So I didn't even turn the 3D camera on for this one. I just did those same keyframes pretty much, and I just turned the 3D camera off. Sometimes when it's just more trouble than it's worth. So all I did was take the camera off already there. Move to the camera here. And I just moved it across the screen pretty much. Across like that. And I also added a little bit of scale. Put the scale here, but obviously as it gets closer to the screen, like here, you kind of want a good change up, like a big eagle here. Boom. Move the eagle back down. Make it smaller again. You know what I'm saying? But you can turn that motion on for it though. So boom. So that gives you another layer of transitions within it. So boom. You feel me? That was real quick. I might move it back a little bit, even though, you know what I'm saying? So when it flies to the camera, it's a little bit less noticeable. You get like that eagle on the screen. You feel me? That helped with the transition. You feel me? So. You feel me?
Hey, feel me? It ain't nothing wrong with me, feel me? Just hating, feel me? That's why you ain't never gonna have no paper, ain't never gonna have no, feel me?
And now for this one, it's kind of plain on the background. You only have him like kind of moving until the light sweep starts and the background starts to move and stuff. And then you have all this good stuff. But we can either zoom into the smoke a little bit, zoom out, and then zoom back in. Or this is where you can add some sort of effect or something on top of it. You got to kind of know what you're trying to do when you're, you know, trying to figure it out. So boom, after this, the camera slides, it glides. Let's kind of move it in a little bit. Let's play around with the camera a little bit. Press C. We're going to zoom in on the smoke a little bit. Woo. Give it a little bit of character. Swing it around a little bit. Ooh. Move it down. Move it down. Just play around with it. Have fun, man. That's what I'm about to do. So after I finish these, I'm going to lay out everything. And like I said, I'm going to go over the camera paths and we're going to see the final product. This is the path. This is kind of where all our frames end up laying. So as you can see, this is where pretty much each frame is. This is each plane, each pre-composed composition that we have, and we have the background as well, right? So basically what I did, as I gave you tips when I was creating it through the speed arts and things like that, pretty much all we came up with, and we started adding some things, so I will show you that as well. So pretty much the plane starts out as the camera starts right here. We're gonna push into good future right here. Boom. And like in the final, I think I will add like some smoke or some haze to like clear out, and then like as it's pushing through type stuff. So if you see that in the final, that's probably what I did. As it's gonna push through here, like I said, the window is gonna open. Now we gotta fix that, obviously, because the window is supposed to be open behind that. So you just gotta move the frame in the actual pre-composed, make sure it's behind or whatever. So as you can see, the camera is busting through, and we're just following the camera path right now. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I added at the end, but we're just following the camera path. So the camera busts through, then you'll see the next plane here, which is right here. Then we're gonna go through that. That plane's gonna do its thing. All the adjustments are already on that plane. Then we're gonna go ahead and start moving. The camera is on the move again, as you can see right there. is coming through. And as we have our last options going on, we got a lot of stuff moving, got the things flying through. And as you can see, that's the frame or plane that we're on right now. So as we slide through that, now we zoom into the little dude, zoom out, he flies up, the future video comes on the background, the eagle flies through, cool. Then we got smoke, lights on the frame, snow's coming down. Now you got this going on, fly through that, snow on the white screen, fly through, fly down. You gotta zoom in on the product falling, zoom in on that hat. Then you got this going on. Boom, into there, zoom out, fall down. You got that little blank space coming in. And then there you go. That's pretty much the camera path. Fly through. We got the collage going. Like I said, the collage gonna fly in. You got the videos going on. Then you're gonna slide out. Then you got this going on. Then this. Zoom in right there heavily. Then it's gonna zoom into the eye. And then it's gonna start all over. So pretty much that was the camera path. Like I said, the whole key to this is making sure the camera path and that point of interest is at the same like space when you're going to the next actual item. So as you can see, the camera, the plane, and the next plane is always, see, this is a plane here, this is a plane here. As long as the camera is spaced out between them and flying through them, use that C button to go through all the camera tactics, and you know, you'll come up with something pretty dope. This is a pretty long tutorial. I didn't want it too long. Like I said, I might go in and add some things, fix some things, but just some of the things you guys probably didn't see. The snow kind of falling on as it's moving through space. You got snow falling, and as the snow falling is coming into this nice little white scene where he's really iced out, stuff like that. As the camera's moving, you can make transitions on the actual pre-composed layer as well. So then those two transitions will hit. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics of the actual camera path, setting everything up, putting everything in there. Like in here is pretty much what you want to create. Like you could add snow, it could be rain, it could be a light flare, it could be a film burn, you know what I'm saying? Anything, a shark. I might do something where it was just all 3D objects. I might do the same tutorial but with all 3D objects, so it's a little bit easier. Sometimes working with planes is hard because it's like a plane you have to break through. 3D objects, everything is just floating in space and you can kind of maneuver within. So I think I might try that out next time. All right, guys, I hope that helped you and inspired you to create something dope of your own and got the gears turning to create something fire. Now, if I did help you, please, once again, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe for the kid. I really appreciate it, man, and it helps me get in the algorithm and makes people keep seeing my videos, you guys. Like always, you guys, keep hustling, keep creating, and keep learning. Until next time, Ollie Dope, I'm checking out. Yes, sir.